But moving on, Mumbai has announced that the city will get 1900 fully electric buses to add to its electric public transport fleet and could soon have the largest electric vehicle public transport fleet in India. What does this mean for EV bus manufacturers like Ashok Leyland and Eicher Motors? We speak to the companies today. Mahesh Babu, the CEO at Switch Mobility at Ashok Leyland, who's in fact just joined the management of Ashok Leyland, has joined in now. Mahesh, good morning and thanks for being with us in the show. Akash Pasi, who is the president of the bus division at Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles, is also with us. Mahesh, let me start with you. Since you've just gone onto the board of Ashok Leyland, welcome. But I also want to ask you a little bit about what's happening with the various state transport undertakings. Mumbai has announced that they have a huge plan for EV buses, but other states have also talked about it. What is the situation on the ground and what kind of opportunity do you see for Ashok Leyland?
I think there is a strong urge in converting the public bus transport, particularly in the cities, to electric mobility. I think Maharashtra EV policy was very, very progressive. And if you look at it, there is a clear direction that 25% of buses in about 6 cities will get converted into electric. I think it gives a huge opportunity for electric manufacturers like Ashok Leyland and Switch Mobility. Recently, BMTC has announced, which is Bangalore, has announced about 300 buses to be made electric soon. At the same time, we also find Guwahati has now opened up a tender for another 300 buses for electric mobility. So by and large, we are seeing, based on FAME scheme of the central government and individual state policies, being done by individual states, there is a huge demand for converting city buses into electric. And Ashok Leyland has already about 100 plus buses in the market. And with Switch Mobility, there is a clear focus in the group that we want to play a vital role in electric mobility, both in buses as well as going forward in ELCVs. So I feel the 1900 bus tender, which is very clearly tendered by BEST, is one of the very progressive and in line with the Maharashtra state EV policy. This tender is going to clearly give sustainable mobility to Mumbai and going forward to about 6 cities as per the policy in Maharashtra. There is a similar trend seen in Karnataka, Guwahati, we are seeing in Chandigarh, everywhere. So there is a clear direction to move city buses into electric, and this gives a huge opportunity for electric bus manufacturers to play a vital role in this transition.
Got that. Okay, let's bring in Mr. Pasi into the conversation as well. Mr. Pasi, I'm assuming that these tenders would be of interest to you as well. Please elaborate on how you're thinking about it. But my bigger question as a consumer, as a city dweller, is where's the charging infra? It's great to get these EV buses on the road, but realistically speaking, turnaround time, charging, and keeping them running on time, is that a bit of a challenge? Won't that be a challenge right now?
No, so good morning. I think firstly, let me say that at VECV, we certainly acknowledge that electric is the future as far as urban transport is concerned. In my own experience, the journey and transformation to electric is as important as the end game. As rightly said, that we have Mumbai now coming up and another 6 or 7 places which are down there with tenders on shorter volumes of electric. And we know that the central government now, through CESL, has centralized purchasing for 9 cities, which means that we will see an even larger tender come in a couple of weeks from now for this. So electric is the way forward. You rightly put it that yes, of course, there are challenges, but this is where life is going to go as we move on. So there is battery charging in the vehicles, and the vehicles, buses, instead of ICE engines, will be fitted for electric vehicles with batteries. But then to enhance their capabilities and the number of kilometers they can cover, it is important to have opportunity charging. And I think that the Indian government and various states which are coming with their policy are looking into that. Places like Europe and China have already their roadmap over the last 10 years of experience laid out for charging, where they have some commonality and they made some policy announcements where the charging infrastructure is communalized. In India, we still don't have that. We're moving towards that, and that is something which we expect the government to do. So therefore, when it comes to the urban space, it's all about electric buses in future, and we will keenly participate in these tenders. Both as Volvo and Eicher, we have strong solutions in this area. And I'd like to quote, I think with related to public transport, the ex-mayor Penalosa of Bogota, that a developed country is not where the poor travel by car, because that's the challenge we have today. It is where the rich use public transport. And I think that is where, with last mile connectivity, we need to get into in the big Indian cities today.
Oh, absolutely. Take that point. Mr. Babu, I want to come back to, what the way forward would look like and the viability of EV buses or EV commercial vehicles. Post the FAME 2 subsidies, are EV buses viable in India today? I mean, I'm just trying to understand whether more needs to be done by the government, or are the prices low enough for either private operators or state transport undertakings to buy?
Yeah, I think in the FAME 2, most of the tenders are coming in GCC contracts. So it's a win-win for everybody. If you look at the consumers are not going to pay higher price for traveling in electric buses. It's almost the same. In fact, going forward, it will come down. If you look at the STUs doesn't need to invest large money. This is being run on a gross contract carriers by the subsidiary of our own company. Let's say OHM, we have formed a OHM Mobility, which will be a operating division of running these buses. This in electric mobility, as you said, these contracts which are being done is not just running the buses. I think it's important the charging infra, the depot is being given by the STUs. So the complete maintenance, everything is managed by professionals from industry. And this gives a lot of operating advantage for STUs. So consumers get lower price or equivalent or lower price. There is no capital burden for the STUs. Industry takes a longer view because these contracts are 10-year, 12-year contracts. So we very clearly have a commitment of business for these years. And nowadays batteries and the electric technology is very reliable and it runs for 10 to 12 years. So we plan a very clear advantage. So the operating cost of the electric is low. So there is a viable business model for industry. There is a viable operating model for STUs. And there are new innovations which can come in this operating lease model. I think this is where the innovation lies in, where we will participate.
Okay, very quickly, last question. We only have a minute left. Mr. Pasi, I just want to understand, layman-like, from a manufacturer's standpoint, given all the EV subsidies, from profitability economics point of view, will EV buses be at par with the traditional engine technology buses, or could they even be better off, given that there's a lot of policy push?
I think to some extent I agree with Mr. Mahesh Babu, but I would say that yes, as I said earlier, the journey and transformation is very important. It is actually a challenge. So today, world over, including India, it's the operators who run the buses, whether in city or long distance. With the gross cost model, which also Mr. Mahesh Babu talked of, it is the OEMs like us who are today taking in the ownership of buses through separate mobility companies and putting the fleets on road with 10 to 12-year commitments. Everybody wants the business, and we go out with aggressive pricing, and the technology is changing at each stage, especially related to the battery and some other electric aggregates, which means that even if we make our own assumptions, because this is not a clear journey over 10 to 12 years, we have to be careful what it turns out. So I think it's very competitive at the moment. We need to be careful. I think to help and meet the Indian government's and Prime Minister Modi's vision of an electric India for urban cities, we certainly will go and for a number of cities, go on the gross cost mobility system model. However, in the long term, we do need the help from the government, and we urge them to encourage private operators to be able to have the ability to invest through financial solutions, vehicles which are in electric field, expensive, but they can put in 100 to 1,000 vehicles each. That is an ecosystem which is not there. And that Indian ecosystem is developing itself, and I'm sure we will go the right way after the OEMs through this model have established the scenes in large cities in India. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Babu and Akash, thank you so much for joining us and speaking about the potential in the electric vehicle space, especially with Mumbai announcing that big plan of 1,900 buses that they will electrify over the next many weeks and months. So several opportunities there for commercial vehicle makers like Leyland and Eicher. But just take a look.